Welcome back. Oh man. Hey, look, the best technical difficulties are the ones you cause yourself. You know what I'm saying? but but hey, listen, it won't stop the content. It won't stop this incredible show that we, and hopefully you affectionately call Made in the 1980s. I am still Cam from the port. And with the Hulk Hogan vibe. You know what I'm saying? With the Hood Hogan vibes. I got my guy, and of course, I always let him introduce himself for the people.
It is Wayne Day. Please say the damn doodle.
Let's go.
AKA Dr. Pimple Popper's new client because this motherfucker's kicking my ass.
Ooh. Yeah, hey, and right in the fall season 2, it hurt extra bad because your skin be kind of dry in the morning now. Yeah. Hey, we've been there. We've been there. It's life. It's life. It happens.
Hey, pushing 41, man. I shouldn't be having acne problems, man. Like, I should be past that.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, you would hope to be, but hey, man, look, the government is going to keep feeding you things that make all those puberty things keep happening to you until you decide to stop beating it. Going through the same thing. That's why I'm saying it like I'm saying it. The government has done something to the food to make our bodies go through 13 to 17 all year round. And we're not talking about it enough. Like, we're not talking about it enough. Like, there's so many new eczema cases, so many new body acne, face acne things. You got dry skin. There's hundreds of different kinds of lotion, also approved by the FDA. None of this is by mistake, people. Listen, I'm trying to transition to pescatarian and potentially vegetarian. I kid you not, because some things just shouldn't be happening to my body, even though I'm 43. I'm just gonna put it out there like that. And man, hey, you know what? We got a impromptu segment because you got one of the shirts of all shirts on display here. And just in case people might have missed our black movies or our black villain episodes, you got to explain to them what they witnessing, even if it's for a hot second on your chest there. That's what she said, or pause, whichever game y'all like to play.
Hey, this shirt was actually inspired by that episode.
Yeah.
Like, and you know how your phone be listening?
Yep.
Like 2 days later, I'm just scrolling trying to find me a new t-shirt. This motherfucker pops up. Oh, gotta get it. Gotta get it.
Fire.
Yeah, most
That's
definitely.
fire. Man, listen, I won't even lie. I kind of want to hold this card close to the chest, but I've been looking for some Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon artwork. I think I might have found some. We'll just stop right there. You know what I'm saying? We'll stop right there. But where we can't stop, Wang, is stop creating the conversations that I think people need to have. When I say people, I mean our people, I mean us. Even though the show is for everybody, hey, listen, during the light work research that I did for this episode, it made me ask a few questions about, one, television, our place in it, and what is on purpose or not. So I want to start this episode off by asking you this question. And keep in mind, there is no right or wrong answer in my view as I open up the spectrum here. Do you, Wang Dang, please say, and do not forget the damn doodle, do you, sir, think that there is really something called a white sitcom and a black sitcom?
Oh shit, that's a good question.
Yeah.
If I had to give my own personal opinion, yes.
Okay.
And it's only due to my own personal internal racism.
Okay. Oh, we were to cook early. We got appetizers been out. Okay, bet.
Like growing up, and I'm pretty sure you've heard or probably even have said, don't let me put words in your mouth, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not watching that white shit.
Yeah. I mean, through the late 90s, early 2000s, I've definitely said that. Matter of
Never
fact, the
once,
show I said it about was probably Friends.
never thought to give it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Just instantly said, I'm not watching that white shit.
Yeah.
And you got older, and just so happens an episode of whatever this white shit was on, and you about to bust a stitch.
Right.
Your shit is fucking funny.
Yeah.
But you instantly shunned it because I ain't watching that white shit.
That's powerful. That's a powerful statement. and you know what? I think for sure every Black TV viewer in some way, shape, or form has said that, even if they don't want to necessarily admit it. And to this day, I don't know why that happened. I don't know where the conditioning actually started, because let's get into some real made the 1980s talk, Wang. You remember Nick at Night?
Yes.
Excellent. Nick at Night was my very first introduction to like primetime TV, even though a lot of the shows on Nick at Night weren't even in real time. You know what I'm saying? It was Nick at Night where I first saw like My Three Sons and Donna Reed and
Patty
man.
Duke.
Yeah, Patty
Toby.
Duke.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I'm saying? Seeing all these shows from the 60s and 70s, and maybe some early 80s shows that didn't make it past like 83. Like maybe you're seeing like some of those on there. But when I was watching those shows, there was nothing on my mind that said, oh, this is a white show, or this is a Black show, or because hey, shoot, some of the shows weren't even in color. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just black and white TV, but I used to have a good time watching it. My mom put me on a lot of these shows. Her and my grandfather, rest in peace, because I never met him. They used to watch Westerns. So, until Fight the Power, my mom was a big John Wayne fan. But what, one of her favorite TV shows of all time is Gunsmoke. She still watches it to this day. It's not a Black show, right? And I don't know what happened, but somewhere along the lines between Nick at Night lineup and then, let's say, TGIF, there seemed to be this separation to take place that said, this is a white show and this is the Black show. Because I had seen the Brady Bunch, I had seen Happy Days, I had seen the Jeffersons, I had seen Good Times, I had seen What's Happening and What's Happening Now. And granted, coherently, I do see, oh, there's more Black people on Good Times than there is on the Brady Bunch. Oh, there's a white guy on the Jeffersons, and they're actually tackling racism on Happy Days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I had seen those, but it's not in my mind that one show is a white show or a black show. Next question to you, because I don't think you're wrong with your assessment of, like, one day you just said, I ain't watching that white shit. But do we know where we truly got it from? I'll keep it real. I don't. If you think you do, please share, because I'm not sure.
I'm dead at. It's funny now, but it's not funny. My grandmother, God rest her soul, was probably one of the most caring, sweetest people that you ever meet. But she was extremely racist. And we gave G-Ma grace because we know she came from another world of what we lived in. Now, don't get me wrong. She wasn't racist. I say this all the time. There's a difference between a bigot and a racist.
For sure.
My grandmother wasn't a bigot. She didn't mind white folks. Just preferred her own people. And in that, she would sometimes go a little overboard. But it was G-Ma, so you can't check her.
Right.
But I spent a lot of time with G-Ma. So unfortunately, growing up, I took some of G-Ma's bad habits to where I would look at things and I would segregate them. It's white people shit. Growing up, I used to say people that rode motorcycles, that's white people shit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm a fucking motorcyclist.
Right. Right.
But growing up and being, lack of better words, manipulated indirectly, it made me think that way. That's Friends. That's white people shit. Everybody loves Raymond. That's white people shit. But also, this the big contradictor, the big contradiction of myself. Would watch the fuck out of Full House.
Hey.
Would watch the fuck out of Step by Step.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I know who Patty Duke is. Mr. Ed. Fucking and these are predominantly Happy Days. These are predominantly white casts, which would be perceived as white people shit.
Yeah.
So why is it that I can watch one but shun the other?
Yeah.
I can't even, I'm talking about myself and can't make heads or tails of it.
Yeah, hey, I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to try to attempt to tell you where I think it first started with me, when I realized, oh, they're specifying this is a black show versus a white show. And I know what some of y'all are thinking, but no, not the Cosby Show. Absolutely was not the Cosby Show. And I think that even speaks to the power of the likability factor of Bill Cosby. And I know I'm probably supposed to not, salute him or give him any kind of respect or praise, but Bill Cosby, outside of Michael Jackson, is really the only black person that I know in my lifetime to be presented in a certain way. Oh, I'll throw Michael Jordan in that mix too. I'm sorry. Jordan, Jackson, Cosby. The three black men that I've known in my lifetime, Wayne, to be able to do something on a national scale, and they're not immediately identified as first black, whatever, first. Like,
I agree to that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Michael Jackson wasn't, platinum black pop star. It was just Michael Jackson, King of Pop or the number one album. They didn't call it R&B. They didn't call it hip hop. Like they didn't use all of the quote urban demo words to specify who Michael Jackson was. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of the 90s. It did not matter that he was black. I never heard, Michael Jordan's such a great black athlete. I've never heard that. I've just heard Michael Jordan is the greatest. And you got white men caping for that fact more than black men.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby, to me, is the start of that wave, even though potentially Thriller becomes a bigger success before the Cosby Show pilot airs. But when you look at TV Guide and you see Bill Cosby's face and they say America's Dad, that speaks volumes as we look back. We're not even 50% of the population, and they are saying that one guy who happens to look like me is America's dad. So even with that fact in my face, I don't look at the Cosby Show as a black show. It's not tailored that way. It's not even fed that way. Even though some of the blackest shit is happening, they listen to jazz. They go on to Dance Mania. Vanity is on there. Like, what I'm saying? Like, there are black things happening. There are OG black things happening on there. Stevie Wonder was on damn the Cosby Show. You know what I mean? For me, Wang, where it absolutely starts, Family Matters.
Okay. I'm
going to tell you why. Because Family Matters was the first show I remember watching. And, I'm in Freeport at this time. So, I'm like in third or fourth grade. I don't have real knowledge of the world outside of Freeport, Illinois. However, the first time I ever heard slander, disrespect, or misconception, misperspective, any of that, was when somebody, and I don't remember who, I really don't remember how this conversation even started, but somebody was adamant about, no way Family Matters takes place in Chicago because there is no black family out there like that. There are no black Urkels. Like, the dad being the cop is crazy. Like, Eddie would get killed out here. Like it was literally one of those things. Now, granted, it's not happening at the show's peak. Well, not when it's rising, but at its peak. So now we're, as it's in its peak, we're in junior high school. So this is where I begin to hear the separation. Now, keep in mind, Good Times has happened before then, but again, this is my generation, so nobody is really speaking to how, quote, real Good Times is, but how fake Family Matters is, because both shows take place in Chicago.
Yeah.
But the reality of black people being in the projects, broke and struggling, dealing with things like heroin abuse, child abuse, and the father dying too soon, that seemed to resonate and be real, while Family Matters was seen as just fallacy, not even fantasy, fallacy. Like, no way. What part of Chicago is that? Is how I was met when I was like, yo, I think Family Matters is funny. Like, I literally said something simple like, no, I like Family Matters. I think Urkel is funny. And that was like, you would have swore I said, I really don't feel like being black anymore. I think I'm gonna bleach my skin today. Like, you would have thought I said something that crazy. Because I don't even remember how we even got there. But man, it was literally like, and it blew my mind because I was like, well, you know, I've never been to Chicago to say you're right or wrong, to be honest with you. So sure. You know.
See, I don't like that.
Same.
I don't like that because okay, let me ask a question first.
Mm-hmm.
This person that you're having this conversation with, black or white?
Oh, black.
Okay.
Black.
Because one thing I will say, and I don't want to get too far off topic with it, one thing I will say is growing up, I did realize at a young age that we were more detrimental to our own community than any other race was, because we stereotyped ourselves before anybody else even got an opportunity to.
And see, that's how I felt.
Like, what do you mean they can't be this family can't exist in Chicago?
Yeah.
There's millions of families just like that family in Chicago. Maybe not so many, you know, with a dad as a cop, but good kids in this house.
Yeah.
Loving father and mother in this house.
Yeah.
Everybody in Chicago is not a fucking gangbanger or a junkie.
Right.
So that really shows me that the conversation that you was having with whoever you was having it with, you were having this conversation with a dumbass. You was having this conversation that was viewing Chicago from a music video standpoint, from probably a different TV sitcom, not even gonna call it a sitcom, TV show or movie or stories he had heard.
Yeah.
From people that he didn't even know.
Yeah.
What do you mean this can't exist?
Hey, listen, we're dead on the same team at this because I was perplexed, because I will say that conversation did make me start looking at TV differently. So now I did start seeing the Cosby Show as a black show now, you know? A Different World was a black show now to me. And it was just like, but see, for everything bad that can and probably should be said about Bill Cosby, where I am forever torn is the fact that even though he totally defecated on the hip hop generation of the black delegation, I will say he remained very consistent on trying to show us the best representation of ourselves weekly on or behind the camera. And I didn't realize how important that was until everything like that started fading away.
We could blame our parents for that.
Well, yes.
Oh no, fuck that. I'm going to blame my parents for that.
Okay, let's talk about
it. Jim, talking to you. No, but for real, if you sit back and think about it, we used A Different World, Cosby Show, Family Matters,
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. What was the Robert Townsend joint?
The Parenthood.
Parenthood. Thea.
Mm-hmm. Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
None of this was shown to us by our parents, that we probably would sit down and watch this shit with them, and they would never say, what did you learn from that? It was solely for entertainment. It wasn't to be, they didn't think to use it as a teaching method. If you're going to thrive to be something, thrive to be like a Steve Urkel as far as getting your education.
Yeah.
If you thrive to be some like a Carl Winslow that became a cop and now he's a lieutenant and then he was a chief and hey, Urkel, and we sat down, we laughed, and it was off, and we went about our business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back then, they were trying to, yes, we want to entertain you, but we want to teach you at the same time. You're not going to tell me, and I will argue this to the day that I die. Cliff and Claire Huxtable were they were the pinnacle of a black family. You have a doctor, a lawyer living in New York, nice big house, but they still dealt with everyday shit.
Yeah.
Kids. You got the kid that ain't so bad. You got the kid that's bad as fuck. You got the kid that's just a little lost a little bit. You got, but nobody ever stopped and said, "This is what you should thrive to be."
Yeah.
You find you a husband that loves you. You find you a wife that loves you, and y'all create.
Yeah.
We sat down, we laughed, we parted ways.
Yeah. You know, yeah, I don't believe you're wrong in that. And you know, again, after that interaction I had, and I know my timeline may be a little off for y'all, but my next memory is in living color. And again, not knowing the significance, I just thought it was just a comedy show. You know, it wasn't 100% black because Kelly Caulfield and Jim Carrey are on the show, but you know, I didn't realize at the time that, you know, Keenen Ivory Wayans is a writer, producer, host of the show, and that was a big deal. I didn't realize that was such a big deal for a black man to be in that position. Again, this is just me being a child consuming something and thinking some of this is funny, some of this is hilarious, some of this is kind of gross, but I'm going to keep watching. And you know what I mean? Like that's just how I break down in living color. But it started to resonate with me. You know, again with that Urkel statement. But then it gets worse as we get older, Wang. Because you've named a lot of sitcoms that I thought were great. And, you know, I'm now, as I think back, I'm now connecting the dots here and realizing, you know what? Through my adolescent years and teenage years, I never really talked to my white friends. I mean, I never talked to my black friends about Full House. I used to watch it all the time. I never talked to my black friends about Married with Children until it was going off the air. Matter of fact, black people did not give a damn about Married with Children, at least the ones around me, for the most part, until they realized the black man wrote and produced it.
Yeah.
So, again, another Chicago show, another sitcom based in Chicago, and I've never heard, oh, white people ain't like that on Married with Children. That's not who they are. It was just like, but we're gonna tell you that Family Matters is it's not the move, it's not the wave, it's no way possible. Steve Urkel, the character that is, because Jaleel White, the man, respected him. Family Matters was so big that they put him on an episode of Full House.
Yeah.
So even in that, you could say that he's transcending color at that point. And unfortunately, no matter how black Family Matters was, if we keeping it real, we, the black delegation, and I'm gonna now look back and say, man, maybe that loud minority or that loud split demo is what truly killed that show. Because when I remember Family Matters, I remember them putting on a lot of people who would become, stars. They were already stars. Like, I mean, Lorenz Tate was on Family Matters. He gets his start through that show. I look at them tackling, gang violence and a gang trying to tear down Miss Rachel's, which is a black-owned business in the city. I remember the episode where Eddie gets racially profiled and his black dad, who's also a cop, had to pick between the blue line and the black life. Yo, y'all don't understand. Like,
your shit.
You know what I'm saying? You don't really understand how ahead of the curve that episode is when you look at what happened with a Mike Brown or a Ahmaud Arbery or George Floyd. You don't like realize that they did that in the early 90s, where a black man that was a cop had to put his badge in his hand and his heart in his other because his son was racially profiled and he didn't believe him. And he ran down on the cop and had words with him. Now, granted, this on TGIF, so he ain't gonna, pistol whip him or nothing crazy or nothing like that. But even just to see that, so many things are answered, and yet, giving you a scenario of how to deal at the same time. But then also, man, look, Shanice was on there. Damn, Shy, the R&B group Shy was on there. All For One was on the show. Like, there's so many. Tracy Spencer was on there. Yeah,
we could figure that shit out the other day.
Yeah, like it was so. It was so much Black star power. It was so much realer than we think Black issues as we get back. Remember when that girl wrote the N-word on Laura Locker, and because she was running for class president, like, yo, I don't even understand, looking back at some of the topics that they were covering, how we not saying that's not a Black show, how that's not the Black experience, how we don't do that, how that's inaccurate. I'm more upset now looking back as a grown man on how, why did we being the Black delegation, the Black voice, why did we want to jump so far out of the window to say this ain't us and this can't be us? Meanwhile, white people, the white demo is like, oh God, I love Steve Urkel. I love Family Matters. I've ran into several white people that said Family Matters was my favorite show. Like, they mess with it more than Full House, more than Step by Step, more than Blossom. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they mess with it more than anything else. And it's like, and we shit on that?
It was. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyway.
For sure, yeah.
Gangster rap.
Hey, let's talk about it.
That was the new perception. That was the new perception. Whatever was being said and or done in gangster rap, that was the new visual that we wanted to be perceived as. So that made Steve Urkel not cool. Nobody want to be seen as Steve Urkel.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school with a gentleman. We graduated together.
Mm-hmm.
This young man was so fucking smart that he would sleep. Me and him, we had U.S. studies together.
Mm-hmm.
He would sleep throughout the whole class. And then when Mr. Winker would pass out the worksheet for the day, he would do that worksheet. 5 minutes left for the class.
Mm-hmm.
He'll pass it back to me. I copy his shit. I'll pass it to the left, to the right, to Jeffrey Kidd. He'll copy that shit. He'll pass it back to me. I'll pass it to the left to Barry Hill. He'll copy that shit. I'll pass it back to him. We all pass with B pluses.
From the kids sleeping.
The kids sleep in the class. Now, I say all of that to say this. He didn't want people to know how smart he was. Because that wasn't gangster.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah.
No, he preferred for everybody to view him on how tough he was. And this is the gang that I'm in. Outside of the fact of, bro, you are fucking smart.
Yeah.
It's called him Bookworm. That was my nickname for him, Bookworm. The guy, the young man was so fucking intelligent, but he did not want the world to know that about him.
Wow.
And so many people, I'll even say myself included, because I wasn't raised to do a lot of the shit that I was doing. My mother and my stepfather wanted to kill me because of the shit that I was doing. But I wanted to be perceived a certain way. And in my older years, looking back, I was trying to follow a trend. So when you got a Carl and a Harriet Winslow, and you got an Eddie Winslow, and you got a Steve Urkel and an Aunt Rachel, and Estelle Winslow, that wasn't appealing. And I don't want to jump too far, but it was so unappealing that the Black home sitcom started to veer away, and you started getting more single mom sitcoms, single dad sitcoms, newly divorced parent sitcom.
Yeah.
I can't even recall in the early 2000s a sitcom where both parents were in the house and locked in.
So glad you said that. And that's actually the perfect segue, because so now we've got all these images that exist. Again, Cosby Show, Different World, Family Matters, Fresh Prince, and Living Color is also out. It's rocking. Now, if anything, that's our Black show, right? So now we just off of situation comedy altogether. It's sketch comedy or it's nothing, right? Then we get to we fast forward. So Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Now, I love Hanging with Mr. Cooper. It's I would love to, matter of fact, know the studies about how many people saw Hanging with Mr. Cooper and then agreed that they would be teachers or substitute teachers or be semi-pro basketball players. I would love to see the correlation, because then after that, you're right, we veer away from Black families, and even start with Hanging with Mr. Cooper. But now, got Martin, got Living Single, The Cosby Show. The Cosby Show's on his way out. So, and then in the mix of that also, you got Thea.
Yep.
And then I think then you have Steve Harvey Show, I believe. Because Me and the Boys gets a very short run, but then I think we eventually get to the Steve Harvey Show. And I say all that because now look at the dynamics. Single guy, single Black male, skirt chasing. And even though Will did it, he's supposed to be a kid. Like, granted, Will Smith is 30 years old, but he's playing like a 19-year-old. So you know what I'm saying? In hindsight, it's crazy today, but they were supposed to be kids. Like, if you recall the last season of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it's like, hey, what are y'all gonna do now that we're moving and y'all still in college?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the only adult in the house was Hillary. That was it. Everybody else was kids. So and now granted, Martin had a girlfriend, but it's more of the wild and crazy life of like a radio personality, and it's really more about his comedy and everything like that. But hanging with Mr. Cooper, he's a single guy. Like it's really on some Three's Company type stuff because the two ladies aren't his girl; they just one of his homegirls, and one he's trying to get at, and eventually he do get Holly Robinson Pete, whatever her character name is, I forget it right now. But even that, Raven Simone gets another gig, and her and her mom come and move in and things like that. But even that, single mom versus the cool cousin, and the cool cousin is now going to, he's gonna skirt chase for 4 or 5 seasons, but on season 6, now we put them together. But now the show is off, and that's what I was really getting at here. We get now a series of shows where the guy spends the entire season chasing the girl, and when he finally gets the girl, show's over. Hey, look, when Urkel finally gets Laura, I think they get one more season. It's over.
It's over.
When Steve Hightower finally nails Piggy, it's over. When Mark Cooper gets whoever her character is, and I can't believe I'm drawing a blank right now, it's over. Thea, single mom of 3 kids. Just trying to make it happen. Thank God for their uncle, I think it is. That's the only father figure in their life. So now as we, even though it's lighthearted, look at the images that were being sent. So now we're down to
not even let you get too far away. Just to show you how fucked up it got. What was the show called? With the Smollett family? Was it All of Us?
Oh yeah.
They brought us in. These kids didn't have parents at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Start the show with a bunch of orphans.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. That's crazy. So by the time, that's crazy. So by the time we get to the late 90s, there is one complete black family left. Because even the Parenthood is done. I don't even remember how the Parenthood ended. I don't know.
I think it just was over.
Yeah. And the last one is Moesha.
I'm glad you said that.
That's the last black family. But so now you got the one black family left amongst a show in Martin that's wrapping up because Gina and Martin have gotten married, but now they move in LA, and now the show is over. Then you got Living Single, but again, as all of these ladies outside of Sinclair was the only one that got her relationship on the show. By the time Maxine and Kyle fall in love, by the time Regine finds her millionaire, and when Khadijah finds her dude, they end the show.
Yep.
And then they replace them with girlfriends, which is, even though I loved every single woman on this show.
Yes.
They're confused, they're dirty macking, they hating on each other, like they fighting in the club, and one is not deemed as solid because she won't jump in. Like it's a lot going on.
Hey, let's not act like Joan wasn't like the worst friend ever.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Terrible. She's fucking terrible.
Like, yo, and then the one girl in a happy relationship, in a happy marriage, cheat on her husband, make him leave. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's so like I forget not Tony, Golden Brooks' character.
Oh fuck.
She cheat on Raheem. Yeah, Maya cheat on Raheem from Juice. He get distraught and he leave, but he do come back. Show's over. You know what I'm saying? And Joan end up with William.
Yeah, but like I said, when you say Moesha, like even with everything, like you said, happy ending, it goes off. Happy ending, it goes off. We don't get to see where the happy
goes. How happy is the ending, basically.
How happy is the ending. But with Moesha, it was different because not only did they give you, like, there was really nothing positive about Moesha.
Yeah.
Like, it was all negative. Like, they would have funny moments. Moesha was probably a worse friend than Joan, but
Oh, for sure.
But when they decided to end that, they ended on a dark note. The dad cheated on the stepmom, and they
Ray
just
J.
carried that.
Yeah.
They ran with that. Like, God forbid we let this black family be happy like the Cosbys were, like the Winslows were. We're not doing that anymore. It has to be foul play, because is this what you think black people do?
Mm.
Do you think that this resonate to the black delegation?
Yeah.
Why do people automatically feel like we don't have a loving mother and loving father in the family, in the same house?
Yeah.
Why do they feel like that's a black cultural thing?
Hey, listen.
Because that's what it turned into.
Yeah. No, for sure. Because, like, why didn't Uncle Jesse have a side baby? He was the man. Like, you know what I'm saying? But Moesha daddy with that hairline is knocking everything down, right? Right? Like, come on, dog. You
Like,
know what I mean?
but no, you dead ass serious. Like, when you watch Full House, Uncle Jesse was the motherfucking man.
Facts.
Directly but indirectly, they let you know Uncle Jesse had bitches.
Right.
But you only saw him with was Rachel?
I feel like it was Rachel. I don't know. But I know exactly what you're talking about. We gonna look up some cast. So we can stop saying the wrong the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but no, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I definitely believe Rebecca.
You
know what I'm saying?
Right. But yeah, but it's like when you finally see Uncle Jesse, Uncle Jesse would tell you he was going on a date, but you never saw her.
Yeah.
But when they brought Rebecca in, she locked Uncle Jesse down.
Right.
This is Uncle Jesse we talking about.
Right.
I remember I was watching, off topic, but I remember I was watching a Lifetime movie with my baby mama, and it was a movie about Uncle Jesse being a controlling, woman beater type cat, and I was just like, no, not Uncle Jesse.
Right, you know what I'm saying? That's the trillest dude in Oakland, right? I'm the trillest dude in the Bay. What you talking about? I'm Uncle Jesse, cuz.
I'm motherfucking Uncle Jesse. Like, no, like, not Uncle Jesse. I mean, I get it's a movie, but it kind of fucked me up.
Right. Right.
But that Moesha thing, like, dude, I don't know why that even bothered me when I was young. Like, why is it so? Why they can't just be a happy family?
Yeah.
And just deal with Moesha and her friends.
Yeah.
Moesha and Miles.
Yeah, man. It's and the more I thought about sitcoms, I'm like, damn, what? Even, you know what? And this makes the ending of Martin so good for me, as well as Living Single, even though, I think I could have kept going on for years. But even the fact that at least the happy ending for Martin and Gina was, they left their friends and they left their home in Detroit, but they're going to LA. But it's like, man, I hear so much more story and material. Now, granted, I know behind the scenes other things are happening with that show, but they never even gave Pam her spinoff that was rumored supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like like Pam was supposed to be a spinoff because she started working for the record label and all of that afterwards. But to fast forward, as we look at all these shows, and it was just so much tragedy, then we just started getting like bad shows. But before I say that, you know, then you got like shows like Rock, right? Which didn't stay on long. But Rock was again another hood classic, I guess you could say. With supervillain Clifton Powell. Respect to you, sir. But you know, even the story of Rock, it's black struggle. Black struggle. Man lives with his wife. Wife is beautiful, but his daddy at the crib. His brother a moocher, and they in the hood just trying to make it. And not that the show itself wasn't good. I still think to this day Charles Dutton is an amazing actor and all of that. But, you know, unfortunately, I think, and I'm feel free to think this on this hill for me, but like we watched too many. I personally had seen too many black shows where black people were just in prominent positions as just black people, that I didn't want to watch black struggle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just didn't want to see that. I know black dads to be doctors and lawyers and policemen, or you know, or if not even that, but they're very cool people on the radio. They're cool substitute teachers that become teachers and play in the NBA, and you know, like that was what I saw. But yet, you know, when we get to Rock, probably unfairly, I think part of it is well received because it isn't as well received because they're trying to pitch us black pain in the midst of all of this black excellence that we've seen and we're underappreciating.
I see where you're going with it, and I'm going to make this statement, and because I may be off,
mm-hmm.
But it was like this is what they wanted us to perceive the black experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about it. We go from the Jeffersons. Like I said, don't get me wrong, we had a good times in there.
Mm-hmm.
But we had the Jeffersons. We had Family Matters. We had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started giving us Thea, Rock, South Central.
I was literally about to bring up this show.
You know, like it's like, no, we don't want the black delegation to see thriving black family.
Yeah.
We need impoverished black family.
Yeah.
Like that became the wave. And for what?
Man, listen, I'm so glad that you said that and that you named South Central, because I remember watching the first episode, the pilot episode of South Central. I remember when that debuted, and I was like, I don't want to watch this. I just don't. Because that show was so chaotic to me at like, what was it, maybe like 13? Because it was like, this was like somewhere, 94, 95, I think.
Something like that.
And I'm sitting here like, bro, I've already seen Boys in the Hood. You know what I mean? Like I've already I've already seen like South Central, the movie Hoover Deuce. I already seen that. Like I don't I didn't enjoy that. And then and literally for like the pilot episode, or maybe this was episode 1, I don't remember, but I know there was a scene where dude who I believe was Lorenz Tate.
Yeah, it was Lorenz Tate.
Was knocking something down, was knocking another girl down. I guess that was the friend of the girl, one of the main girls on the show.
And she was drunk as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like, and they came in like, if it involves me effing everybody, then I don't want to be that. I was like, yo, this is way too real for me. I don't like.
I remember what Buddy said, I gotta get mine. What?
Yeah. I was just like, yo, I'm like, yo, man, see this? No, that's that unfortunately, I'll consider that, Boys in the Hood working too well, Minister Society working too well. So now we're just going to push the blackest, most destructive images possible at that point. And thank God it didn't survive. I think it got through I don't think it got one full season.
No.
I don't remember seeing that after the summer of 94 or 95, whichever year that was.
It was 94.
Oh, yes. So by the time we got to high school, that shit was dead. All right, beautiful. Thank God. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, man. To fast forward even some more. So now we talked about that, right? My last question is very simple. Who killed the black sitcom? Right? I asked that question because after all the dust settles and it's 2007, 8, now we're leaning on Flavor of Love. Now we're leaning on Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives and the Real Housewives of whatever city Rich Holes is at. You know what I mean? It's just like now we not even acting. We putting on. We acting the fool, but we not acting no more. Like now, let's just find some real ignorant people like in real life and not really give them a script. Let's give them a concept and let them go crazy. And I don't know how I feel about it because I never want to be against people, especially my people, getting money being themselves. But man, I would like some quality entertainment from time to time if that's okay. If that's okay, just something to laugh at that's just not necessarily that real for me. So I look at that and then I say, who really killed the black sitcom?
Let me correct you on something real quick.
Let's do it.
Some of this shit that we're seeing as far as like these reality TV shows, I can't give people props on, like you said, people being themselves because they're not. They're bro. I watched this. My girl showed me this thing the other day. It pissed me off so bad that I made her turn it off.
I've been there though. I so feel you. I don't even know what you're about to say, and I feel you.
I don't know. I don't remember what the name of the show was called. She did tell me it was one of them new Bad Girl Club-esque shows. And there was a panel of women sitting at a table. I want to say it was a show called Baddies because I remember the girls say, "What makes you a baddie?" So they're asking these girls, "What makes you a baddie?" And they're giving the dumbest fuck. What do you think a baddie is? A baddie is a bitch that don't take shit from a bitch. And this bitch. And I'm just, okay. She was like, well, I just want you to keep watching. So they go from this one girl, dark-skinned young lady, very pretty, from Mississippi. And they go to another girl. She's from Chicago. They go to another girl. I forgot where she was from. Then they go to this one girl. Her phone was on the ground. I don't know what that means.
Right.
But they kept asking her, why your phone on the ground? She wouldn't answer why the phone was on the ground. But they kept inquiring why her phone was on the ground. I'm looking at her outfit. Like her hips were out on her skirt. So that means there's no pockets. That might be why her phone is on the ground. There's nowhere for me to put it. So she just starts twerking. Whatever. I love strip clubs. Not like a good twerk.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And then she sits down and she starts to unzip her boot like, I'm finna get into this twerk. These boots are hindering my twerk. I'm assuming. But when she sits down, she unzips her right boot and goes to slide it off. the very first girl that they talked to from Mississippi just ran up on her and just stole her. Bang!
What?
She didn't say anything to her. She didn't antagonize her. She twerked and she went to take her boot off. And the girl from Mississippi just literally just ran across the room and stole on her.
Wow.
So in the midst of stealing on her, the girl from Chicago felt like she needed to steal on somebody too. Nigga moment.
Right.
She bust the girl from Mississippi. The girl from Mississippi fucked her up so bad, just split her shit all the way open.
Damn.
Then another girl ran up and started fighting a girl that had nothing to do with anything. This is what the fuck this is what you wanted me to watch? Why?
Yeah.
Why are you watching it?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? If this is what we're calling entertainment.
Yeah.
You're watching these women on TV make a mockery of themselves as to where if we were at home at a nightclub or a lounge and people that we know were to do something like that, you would look down upon them.
Mm-hmm.
But you're making these people famous.
Yeah. You said it right there. You said it right there. And see, and that is the trick bag. That is the conundrum. That is the just effed up situation that we are in as Black folks. Because on one hand, we're like, oh, Black people not a monolith. We're not all thugs, gangsters, pimps, and hoes and bitches. And we got more to offer than twerking and fighting and throwing drinks and shaking tables and this, that, or the third. But yet and still, every time Mona Scott or the Zeus Network put together a group of 5 or more Black and Latino or biracial or Blasian people, anybody with at least 25% Black in them, and foolery starts, fuckery commences, and destruction is at hand, we are viewing the shit out of it. And when do we be like, nah? Like, okay, now I'm good.
Like, I remember growing up and thinking, me and my best friend, we had a strip club. And he asked me the question that no man wants to be asked at a strip club. Bro, what if your daughter was a stripper? For one,
find another club. No, just sure not.
Hey, most definitely will not be attending the club that my daughter works at. You know
what I'm saying?
But I'm like, dude, that's a terrible question to ask while I'm throwing ones and slapping buns. You know, like,
yeah, facts.
Terrible question to ask.
Like, bro, like, where's your head at? Get your head in the game.
Like, bro, we are focused here. But I sit back and I look at, like, if my daughter called me and told me that she wanted to go on Bad Girls Club, I would openly say, why don't you just be a stripper? I would prefer for you to dance and make money than to try and go on this show and belittle yourself for clicks. Because that's all you're getting. Like, think about how long Bad Girls Club has actually been on TV. And then you think about how many bad girls actually found a way to capitalize on being on that show.
Right.
You got a better chance of making it to the NBA.
Hey, yeah, for sure. With more money.
With more money. Bro, I understand why they're doing it, because me and you, we've talked about this before. Clout holds more value than currency.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids, I'm not going to just exclude women, but a lot of these kids think that if I can get a viral moment, I'm on.
Yeah.
We got a young lady here in Freeport posted a video on TikTok with a because she does hair. She has a rule: if you're 15 minutes late, not only am I not doing your hair, I'm charging you extra for your next appointment. So she has a video and it's captioned something like, sorry, Mitra, if I botched your caption, but it was something like, this is what it looks like when you're almost late for a hair appointment. And the girl is like jumping out of the car. She's running to the trunk. She grabs the bag of hair and she's mad dashing to the, it was fucking hilarious. 1,000,000+ views, probably close to 2 million, which would be considered a viral moment. But Mitra is also smart enough to realize that doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I'm still in little old Freeport. I'm still doing the clients' hairs that I do. This doesn't mean that because I got these many clicks or likes or whatever on TikTok that now I can quit my job. But a lot of these kids feel like that's all it takes.
Yeah.
That one viral moment.
Yeah. And the reality that they will all have to accept one day is that, nope, the only thing, and I can speak to this because before it was really called a thing for radio stations and even for myself a couple of times, I've went viral. And all you can do is just hope that you keep an audience captivated enough to go viral again someday. I think, and to your point and all this, and shout out to the young lady that's doing hair and standing on business about her business. I really respect that. That's awesome. As we are in this clickbait, catch one, go viral world, I do want to leave off with, man, have something to offer. And this ain't one of those dumbass, what do you bring to the table arguments, but it can be perceived that way because as you go viral, as you get your cloud up, do you have a product or a service? Are you really an actor and you're looking to be placed on something maybe written by Issa Rae? I love Issa Rae. And work on the craft as you try to get a moment, because to Wang's point, all that baddies and bad girls club and all these girls with they thick asses and they bad attitudes, sure, you might want to beat, right? But it doesn't bode well for tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Also what Wang said. What does your daughter or your niece or your third cousin want to be now? Those are the images that are out. We've alluded to, gangster rap earlier. And it is sad now that we look back at it because, while many thousands, potentially even millions of young Black men and women have lived and died by the code of the streets that was talked about by a Jay-Z or Snoop or NWA or even 3 6 Mafia or, Tupac, Biggie, whatever. Most of these young men and women have grown to be older men and women that now have lavish living. Their children go to some of the best schools in the world. They're business people, and they have cemented legacy for their family name, their last names. Wow. a generation or two of us still trying to figure it out. And that alone is why we really need to get just better, more positive images on these screens of people that look like us. I would love to go back to the naive thinking of, I don't know what a black sitcom or a white sitcom is. I'm going to watch Family Matters as soon as I will watch Step by Step or Full House or Blossom or Fresh Prince or Martin or Girlfriends. And hey, I might even give Friends a run, but for sure, Everybody Loves Raymond or for sure,
Hey.
Seinfeld. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So like, as I think about that, you know, man, I do pray that we, the people that look like Wang and I, get some better images of ourselves on all these screens. I don't care if it's phone screens, laptop screens, tablets, TV screens, whatever it is, because it's more than obvious that the messages that we're given in some way, shape, or form, they affected us all. And if we're truly not a monolith, and we are truly in a space where we can truly be anything that we put our minds to, we need to put our minds into putting out better images of us.
Absolutely, dude. Like I know we're talking about sitcoms, but that's my issue with Sexy Red.
Mm.
I can't really, it's hard for me to speak on it because I don't know what it takes to be a celebrity. But I do know that with celebrity, you, whether you want to or not, you become a role model.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you want to be or not. You can say it until your fucking face turns blue. I didn't sign up to be a role model, but you are.
Right.
So this is the image that you want little girls to. That's my problem with Suki.
Mm.
Suki, you are horribly talented. You are disgustingly talented, young lady. Why this? Why this move?
Mm.
You could have went any other avenue. You're a role model at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also live in a society where a lot of parents aren't attentive to what their kids are taking in. Just give them the tablet. Let them go in the corner.
Mm.
You know, we got to do better as a delegation in a whole. I ain't gonna say a delegation. We need to do better as humans. Period.
Facts, though, for sure.
Humans. Period. We need to fucking do better because every generation looks at the new generation and say, "That's what's wrong with y'all."
Yeah.
We don't old heads. That's like, what's wrong with your kids now? When I was a kid, what could we have did different? What could we have did better to help better?
Yeah.
The previous generation.
Yeah.
Because the shit's just going to get worse.
Yeah, man. Especially if we don't get proactive. Man. Yeah, man. It's a wild trip, you know, being as old as we are and now looking back at some of the images that were presented to us. And you know, I'll say this. I've always been one person to beat my chest about, yo, I mean, I watched all that too. I listened to all that music too. I watched all this stuff too, and nothing happened to me. You know what I mean? Like, and I never ended up in jail. I never did this, but when I look at some of my friends and my family, you know, I think like, oh, at what cost? You know, because you know everybody won't perceive things the same way. Everything that is life and entertainment, you know, it's not necessarily the same for everybody. You know, I jokingly I jokingly said during the Pharrell Drink Champs interview when Nori was like, the last call he had with Notorious B.I.G. was about the TONY beat and how he was going to get on the remix. And I said that was summer '97. I said if summer of '97 happens and Biggie is on TONY, I am going to start a crime spree when that hits. But maybe I'm not really joking because I only know how I felt hearing Life After Death and hearing the original Keep Your Hands High with Tracy Lee. Like, I seen Biggie in concert. Keep in mind, I'm one of the last people to see Notorious B.I.G. perform live anywhere. It was the summer of '96. He is gone by winter of 97. Well, top of winter, you know, still the winter season. And I was like, yo, like, I'm going to start a life of crime if TONY comes out and Biggie is on it. But even with that response in my mind, just thinking about who I was at 15, 16 years old, even that's alarming. And it's like, maybe, just maybe, I was spared in a few ways because the wrong message didn't hit me at the right time. Something I think about often.
I have to do it. I will openly say, because I've never been nothing but transparent when we have these type of conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I was a victim of gangster rap. I thought that was the move, right? And then I had people that I looked up to that was encouraging my bad moves. So now I'm extra turned on the shit.
Right.
Let's sell this crack. Let's buy these pistols. Let's use these pistols. Like, let's be stupid in the coolest way. It's where my head was.
Yeah.
Like I said, you get older and you hope to learn from your past. You hope. Because some people still don't.
Facts. Man, to end this on a more positive note, even though real talk is always positive, let us know y'all favorite sitcoms. I will say the fast fact I learned for this show also is that we only had one Black leading character show that lasted more than 9 seasons. You want to take a guess what show that was?
You said leading Black that lasted more than 9 seasons?
Yep.
I want to say Cosby Show, but I also want to use the fact that they revamped it, brought it back, but that don't count.
Nah, it don't. You close though. Close. It's not the Cosby Show, believe it or not.
No. Hold on. Give me about 15 more seconds to think.
All right, for sure. Shout out to everybody that's screaming at the screen that may know this answer, because I honestly didn't. I was actually surprised. I was actually super surprised that this was the answer for the show.
Oh, it's one of those like sleeper but not sleeper.
Yeah, sleeper but not sleeper. It's literally one of those, like, if you don't guess it when I tell you, you'd be like, you know, I guess I could see that.
What you got?
The Jeffersons, 11 seasons.
Oh,
yeah.
I can see me not knowing that, because when I was watching the Jeffersons, they were reruns.
Yeah, same.
You know, so I can see me not knowing that.
That let me know. Oh, that's why Sherman Hemsley was like him, with the Afro cul-de-sac and all of that, and why they gave him another show in Amen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and why for a minute, like, he was that go-to special character on a lot of different shows. I was like, oh wow, because he's the only Black male lead, part of a Black leading couple show that had been on past 9 seasons. Even I think even the Cosby Show was on like 8 or 9. So I was like, yeah. I was like, wow, Sherman Hemsley, he did it. He the one. He the one.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, facts.
I like that a lot.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, look, if y'all have, hey, young people out there acting, or anybody, no matter when you start acting, because I don't know, maybe he might have been 30 or 40 when that was out. You know, just can't help your hairline. But hey, man, Google Sherman Hemsley this week. Look at his resume. Pretty impressive.
Top.
You know? Man, thank y'all. We appreciate y'all checking out this episode of Made in the 1980s. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully that we've engaged and we've conversed at a level that is to your satisfaction. And we hope you come around soon next week for the next episode. And always, consensually, it's love.